Yo, JD here, and we are on F1 2018 online here today, which I live stream every single Wednesday. So tomorrow, I think probably from 6 till 9 p.m, I'll be live streaming some online lobby. So if you want to be in these videos, then please send me a message either on Twitter with your gamer tag, or actually reply to the comment section of this video. If you're on Xbox, reply to your comment section with your gamer tag, and first come first served, I'll be inviting you in. And also message me on Xbox Live as well if that doesn't work. So we've got a couple of races in this episode here today, and we started at the back in each one of these. And as you can see, we've got quite a good start from P17, P18 on the grid here. So we're thinking about going for a move down the inside of the Force India and the Ferrari, making a little bit of contact with managing just to get the move done. But in these two races here, I actually start near the back of the grid each time. And I thought to myself, it is super hard to try and get a podium in 5-lap races, especially when in this lobby, a lot of people who follow me or my subscribers, they're very quick drivers themselves. And in particular, this lobby, this was a very quick lobby. So you've got Pinecone, Lewis here, BOR Verstappen's in here as well, Rosberg. We've got a lot of very quick drivers in here. And to try and get a podium from near the back of the grid is going to be almost near impossible. So that's what I was trying to achieve here, trying to really pick my spots as much as I could, as efficiently and as intelligently as I could, and just going through the field, trying to avoid all the carnage. Got a little bit of a warning there, 3 warnings in a strict corner cutting scenario, which I put on my lobbies. You get a penalty instantly, so that's something to think about. But as I said, just trying to pick my battles cleanly and just going through the grid and just seeing if I can achieve the impossible, which is to ideally win a race, but getting a podium I think is a pretty good result in a lobby of this stature really. But we've got BOR Verstappen actually behind us. That Renault has gone off into the walls. I don't know what happened to him there. And we actually turned in too early for that hairpin, which means you get actually quite a poor exit coming up here now. And instead of looking ahead of us, we actually got to look behind us, defending the inside. I was thinking he'd probably go for a switchback, but he decides not to. He's got Snazzy Eving ahead of us. He actually makes contact with a Mercedes. We've got down the inside of him. And then we've got WR Paul, who's I think he's the coordinator of the WR one. He's a very good driver himself. We managed to slide up the inside there, and Snazzy Eving, I think, is just behind Verstappen behind us. So we've got 2 rapid drivers ahead of us. And now a little bit of a gap ahead of Paul. So we've got into P9, so we've actually made up quite a lot of positions so far, just avoiding the carnage and everything. We've got WR Ash, who's also a very good driver as well. 90% of this grid are very quick, so we've got to just try and hopefully they start batting up ahead of us. And penalties are definitely at a risk around here as well. Trying to get a nice exit. I like to stay quite tight coming into that corner, see a slingshot kind of effect. It definitely seems to work for me. Using 7th gear, don't go into 8th, because I know it's very annoying to listen to, and I definitely agree with that, but it just provides you so much better stopping power. But we actually went in too deep this time, just a little bit too over ambitious, but we still get a pretty nice exit. And I wasn't actually turning when I was braking in, because we've got to lock my fronts if I did that, so that's the reason why I kind of straightened out my wheel. And in these videos as well, hopefully kind of helps you learn and just shows you the way I drive in these lobbies of how to drive quickly and win 5-lap races. And I'll be talking about racing lines and braking points and stuff as well, when hopefully get a little bit of clean air. But we've gone past around now, went out a little bit wide, so that's a position gifted to us. And now in 7th place we've got VSR Pinecone in here as well, who's obviously a very rapid driver, who's very young. I think he's definitely one for the future. And we've got CRO Rosberg as well, setting a 12.4, so very rapid people in here. And now we've got to try and catch up as we're just catching the car, the oversteer here. Running, I think, 179 ballast, or 17 wings, 9 ballast, so very twitchy setup. But in these lobbies, 5-lap races, overheating's not that much of an issue, so you can kind of get away with it. In a league race, I probably wouldn't have run that, because that would be very difficult. And once your tyres overheat, you're pretty much done. But you can see 7th gear through here, spotting the braking point pretty nicely and getting a good exit. And now we're trying to catch up to this little group ahead of us. The win, I'm not sure who's in the win. I think it's Ash in the lead. He's quick enough, so we're not really going to catch him. We're going to just try and get into the back of this group behind, and to see if we can just do something, see if we can just try and get a podium through here now, and saving our ERS a little bit. So using no ERS, which is something I always recommend throughout the corners. It doesn't really give you a benefit, and it actually helps your tyre temps, tyre wear and stuff as well. But just thinking about down the inside here, but again, I think that'd be a little bit of a risk. Coming off this last corner, I'm trying to get a good exit. Not really an option to overtake into this turn 1. So we're not going to put it in a hot lap or anything. I'm just going to leave it in high. 6th gear just to navigate through here as we run a little bit out wide. So I think another warning. We're actually going to get a penalty in this race. Trying to get a good exit up here now. You can see, trying to stay in the middle of the track, not as wide as the people ahead of us. And now we're going to use overtake. And with the wings of 1.7, I think that's going to be very quick in the straight line. So using overtake does not cost you in straight line speed, I can confirm that at all, but the guys ahead of me have got slipstream as well, so we're going to have to outbrake this Mercedes down the inside, and what a move. We actually pull off a really, really good move. I wasn't expecting to actually stop the car there. If I was using 8th gear, that definitely would not have been possible. So now we've got enough ERS to actually use the end of the lap, don't have to worry about fuel as I said around Germany. Trying to get a good exit, a little bit of a dirty air there, just made the car just twitch a little bit. And now we're going to try and make a move as Pinecone. I thought it was going to go down the inside. I think that's Killers that actually ahead of him there. Trying to go down the inside of him. He actually pushed him out wide. That guy, I'm not sure, ERL Hunter, I'm not sure what happened to him. But now we're back into 5th place. Thinking about down the inside. Pinecone actually thinks about it. And now we're just going to try and get the switch back in. As WO Ash actually wins the race. Using the rest of the ERS coming across the line now. And we've actually got a podium. They actually had penalties ahead of us. So that's mission accomplished for that race. Managed to get a podium from P18 or something on the grid. But now we're moving on to Silverstone, and this is a one-shot quali. And going for this first corner, I expected the car to stick, but the tyres were so cold, half the grid actually went off on that turn 1. And that means, again, I actually start at the back, or not nearish the back, 14th on the grid, which is not as bad as it was at Germany. But I think around this track it's actually notoriously harder to actually overtake. But we just get an insane start. I wish I could get that in league races. I'm probably going to have to watch over this footage to see how I did that. But we've got an insane start. Made it 4 positions, now 5 positions. The Renault just absolutely just blasts straight into that car there, Sauber. And now we made it up again. We're into P9. Let's see if we can make again. And I'm not sure who that is. There's someone in the Sauber WR Sim. We managed to go down the inside of him. And again, the Renault just seems to love going off the track. And we're in P6 from P14. So that's 8 positions gain in just after the first sector. That is an amazing start. And something I wish I could get in my league races. But this lobby here was pretty much the same as the last one. But as I said, the competition in here, and I was really enjoying this, was just absolutely insane. The drivers were super fast, but in my lobbies I welcome people of all abilities because you have to start somewhere, and I felt this is the way to really improve yourself, racing in lobbies such as this where you've just got some seriously talented people actually driving. So going down the inside of this Renault here, I think again I'm using 1.7 with 8 ballast, I think, around this one. Not 9 ballast this time, because 9 ballast is very twitchy for Magazine Bakers, and that's the move done on the Renault. Hopefully he doesn't come back at me. And now we're in P4 at the end of lap 1, so we made up 10 positions on this first lap now. And Killer Snipes ahead of me, very quick driver. Snazzy Evening leading the way, and I think that's CRO Rosberg actually right up behind him as well. So we're just going to try and catch them guys and just see if it's possible of a win. That's really what I was trying to achieve now after the start I had. Hopefully, if they could just start battling, there'd be a chance of that. And we're just going to be sticking on board for the rest of this race, because again, when I can, I like to kind of explain what I'm thinking and like how I'm driving and this kind of strategy I use in these races, and just the race lines and braking points, which I will be going over when I do my fastest lap in this race here now. But now we're just going to try and focus on trying to get that win, because if they actually start battling, I think that's definitely a strong possibility. But the only criticism, negative, well, not the only criticism, but one of the negatives of this game is that slipstream is so powerful. You don't really need to battle. You can just stay behind someone, save all your ERS and KERS, well, not KERS, ERS and fuel, and you can just cruise there, saving your tyre temps as well. There's no real need to battle, and that's quite annoying in league racing, because when you're trying to catch someone, if they just go DRS each other on the straight and not really lose any time, they really just go drag each other along whilst be able to save more fuel and ERS in you and look after their tyres. It's almost impossible to actually catch them up. So I really need Rosberg and Snazzy Evening to start battling now, but we can't just focus on behind. We actually got BOR Verstappen behind us, who's a regular in these lobbies. We've got him behind us, actually sets the quickest lap of this race. And now we get a very good run through this first turn on clear snipes. We go defensive, going through this corner. We'll go just luckily make no contact. Do a nice move. He actually thinks about going inside again. And we managed to get that move done and get some very good traction off here now. And this is not my fastest lap of the race, I believe. But we'll be paying attention to the gap to Rosberg, which is 2.4 seconds. And these last 2 laps I drove very, very well. This is, I feel, a very good example of how you should really be driving this track in terms of the race lines, braking points, and especially in a 5-lap race. This is some among the fastest laps that I've done. So I'll definitely be talking over that on the last lap now. But going through Magnus and Beckett's, which is, I would say, probably my favourite sequence of corners on the F1 game. Flat out for this right-hander, just going down 1 gear for this as the curve finishes. 5th gear going through here now. We actually incur a penalty there, so that is a little bit of a sloppy driving. And the gap is 2.6 seconds because he's just got slipstream on the guy ahead of Snazzy Evening. He's just got slipstream, and when that happens, it's just so hard to catch up. It's literally almost impossible. So if he breaks out, or if Snazzy even breaks out of his DRS, then we might have an opportunity to see what the real pace is. So now, move on to Snazzy Influence of 27.9, and now this is where we're actually starting to rack it up. I think he's almost got a second advantage on Rosberg head, and now these last 2 laps we're going to be pushing very hard, so braking about the 100-meter board into here now. We're going to go towards about the middle of the track, don't use all the track, 2nd gear I like to do, and then short shift into 3rd just to minimise the wheel spin. Now coming up into here now, overtake for this one. I think overtake is very beneficial around there because it doesn't give you as much wheel spin as a hot lap would do. And back down into low, just saving the ERS particularly for the last lap. You can see we gained a lot of time on Rosberg through there. I think gained 4 or 5 tenths just for that first sector alone because he's actually lost DRS. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Once you lose that DRS on someone, you can't really be dragged along by them anymore. You actually start to catch them up, and that's what happens in league racing. People are very tactical. They actually decide to stay behind someone, and as long as they can just stick with them in DRS, even if you're a lot faster than someone, it's going to be very hard for you to actually shake that person off behind you now. You can see how much time we gained, and let's see what this is. We gained another 4 attempts, I believe, in that middle sector, so going purple, and that's how you really take those sequence of corners. Braking at the curb at the end of this, and now for the last lap I'll be talking about all my braking points and everything I'm thinking about before going to every single corner. So now, trying to come off this last corner now. We've got a lot of hot lap left, or a lot of ERS left, so we can run in max tanks for the end of this race. Setting the quickest lap of a 27.8. We'll be turning as the green part of the track starts, so that's where you won't be turning in completely flat out first left-hander. 100-meter board on the right if it's not available on the left. 3rd gear again. I'll go a little bit diagonal. Once you go diagonal there, 45 degrees, that's where we'll be turning in. Short shift into 3rd, as I said before, to minimise the wheel spin. DRS, if you're unable to have DRS through here. I stay in 7th gear for this, running a little bit on the curb, just after the 100-meter board, or really about 60 metres out, I'd say. That's where we want to be braking. 4th gear, 3rd gear, middle of the track. Don't go out too out wide, kind of want to hug it quite a bit. Short shifting into 4th again for just much better traction results. Overtake through here now, and it's a very tricky corner. Can't quite do it flat out. After the 100-meter board, try and attack it nice and early. You definitely want to drive into it early through here. Staying in 7th gear through here. As the curve finishes, just before, that's where you're turning flat out right. Down 1 gear for the left. As the curve finishes again, that's where we're turning in 5th gear. Now ranking up through the gears now. Managed to get DRS in this lap. And we're going to stay in the 7th gear here because, as I said, it provides much better stopping power. As the curb starts, that's when we'll be braking, going down to 5th gear, then going up into 6th, staying in 6th for this one. About 100-meter board, that's when we'll be braking. Go slow in, fast out for this middle of the track, that's where you won't be turning in 3rd gear, and we almost go get Sierra Rosberg across the line, doing the fastest lap of a 27.6, which is a very quick lap. And we managed to come home, P3, another podium, from nearest the back of the grid, and almost a win there. So hopefully you enjoyed this, hopefully you've learned something. Make sure you tune into my live stream tomorrow on Wednesday. Thank you so much for the support, and I will catch you next time. Peace.